What's up, YouTube? Welcome to another episode of the G Show. On today's show, we're going to talk about the viral video of the mom and daughter fighting the Spirit Airlines gate agents and my thoughts on it. So, basically, apparently all this was over fees being charged for the carry-on bag. Now, everyone knows that Spirit is a budget airline, along with like Frontier. I actually, just at the beginning of the top of the year, flew Spirit for the first time. So, I knew what I was getting into with Spirit, just like I knew with Frontier. I flew Frontier a couple years back, and I'll never forget, they were the first airline to ever make me put my carry-on bag into a thing to make sure it fits. And they don't serve you any drinks. You know, you got to pay for drinks and everything like that. The last time that I flew Frontier last year, and I knew my carry-on was just too big. And you know, as you're getting closer to the boarding time, the gate agents are constantly making announcements. Same thing with Spirit; they're constantly making announcements. Hey, if you're you have a personal bag, if it's too big, you come pay the fees now. Otherwise, by the time we start boarding, the fees are going to be higher, right? So they're constantly making this announcement. And I remember with Frontier, I was like, I knew my bag was way bigger than a personal bag, and I kind of like had like another little mini bag. And I was like, I didn't want to, after they keep making those announcements, I didn't want to wait to the gate and see, because I didn't know, like I said, the first time I flew with them, but this was years ago, they made me check. So I didn't know if they were going to try to make me check or whatever. So I just went back on the app, and I paid extra $65 for the carry-on, which I was upset about, because then I was like, I could just really bought a carry-on. But I just went ahead and did it because I didn't want to risk the chance of the fee being even higher when we went to the gate. Now, by the time I got to Spirit, I made sure I had the right size personal bag. All my measurements were good. And I actually had space for like a bigger bag. But I say all that to say this: when you fly with these budget airlines, Spirit, Frontier, you already know that's why their ticket prices are so cheap. They're cheap because they charge on the baggage. Everyone knows that. You know that when you book the ticket, because as you're booking through the ticket and you go through the steps, it tells you, do you want to select your bag? Even for a seat, you have to pay for a seat, or you either have to just wait until they assign you one. They tell you this. They send you an email as you get closer to your trip. Hey, do you want to add your bag? Hey, do you want to choose a seat? You know this going in. You know it's a cost for carry-on. You know it's a cost for check bags. Just FYI, paying for the check bag is actually a few dollars cheaper than paying for a carry-on. Just FYI. So, my point is, these people that got in this fight should have known about the situation. They should already know that you only allow a personal bag. A personal bag, the measurement is 18 by 14 by 8. Okay? So, like a backpack size, something like a large backpack. Not too large, though. Not too bulky, not too thick. So I don't know what kind of bags they had, but apparently this was over, getting charged at the gate, because and I guess it's pretty much up to the gate agent's discretion, because, they can stop you and say, hey, your bag's too big. Now, what's interesting about this, like the last time when I went Spirit, because this is my first time flying Spirit, I didn't know if they were like Frontier, if they're going to make you check the bag or whatever. Like I said, I made sure my measurements were good, but I saw a lot of people that their bag wouldn't fit into the measurement because they were just too wide, but no one got stopped at all. So I guess it's just depending on I don't know if all Spirits are like that or what airport, so you just never know. So you just got to make sure you pack. I'm sure like if you're just a little over, no one's going to trip, but you can't be coming like with the whole carry-on, like a legit carry-on or something like that, and knowing you didn't purchase a carry-on and think you're going to get through. So the situation here probably was, I don't know if they had a carry-on or if their backpack was just too big or whatever, but whatever it was, the gate agent said, hey, your bag's too big for the personal bag, which it probably was, because most people's bags are too big for the personal size. It's very hard to pack in the personal size measurements, especially if it's a trip for more than one day. I struggled just packing for a 1-day trip. This mainly because I had a big sweater in there, but still, if without the sweater, I probably could have got 2 days. If you're going over 2 days in a backpack, I don't know how you're doing it. Now, I could definitely, in the wintertime, I can definitely see you getting away with it in the summertime, but in the wintertime, I feel like it's a little difficult. But kudos to people that can do that, because that's what makes the beauty of flying the budget airline, is the cheap tickets if you can pack in a personal size bag. My ticket for my Spirit flight was like under $100 for a round trip. Granted, I only went one day, but it was way cheaper, like hundreds of dollars cheaper, about $200 something cheaper than my other options with the other airlines. So I don't know what makes people that upset that they feel the need to fight an employee while they're at work. I need people to stop going and fighting people while they're at work. These people are just doing it, specifically with the airlines. Because it's like the second video, but in the 2-month span, it kind of went viral. I can't remember the other airline, but they had like, this was when all that storms was happening in December. You know, the people get mad and they had that outburst. Like, understand that these people at the airport, the gate agents, are just doing their job. So, like, it's only so much they can do. So there's no need to get to the point where you feel the need to put your hands on someone. Do people not realize when you fight at the airport, you can get put on the no-fly list? And that limits you ever going anywhere. Because what if you want to go across the country? Are you really going to take a road trip that long? So, or out the country, or whatever. Like, flying is important. Fighting in the airport for something so silly, knowing I can get a ban permanently on a no-fly list. That's insane to me. And then the other thing is, like, how are you mad at something you did? Like, you knew when you bought your ticket, you know it's a charge for the bags. You knew you overpacked. You know your bag was bigger than the personal size. So you just had to pay that price. It wasn't fun when I had to pay that $65, but I had to do it. I just went ahead and did it. That would have been better than, I can't remember what they said the price was going to be at the gate. I think it was like 90. I don't know. It probably would have been way higher. So, because it went up as on the app from the night previous to just me sitting at the gate. So it had went up. So I didn't want to take no chances. So I can imagine, since they got all the way to the gate, the prices probably were high as hell. Because if it was $65 and I paid, well, this was for Frontier, but now Frontier and Spirit are, they're been bought together, merged together. It was probably very high. Probably, I wouldn't be surprised if it was like $90, $90 that they was told they had to pay. I mean, it is what it is. That's the luxury. I wouldn't say it's a luxury flying Spirit, because it's not, but it's the luxury of saving money on the airline, on the airfare price. So it's either, do you want to fly on this buy a nice cheap ticket and get somewhere to your destination? Or do you want to pay higher prices? If you want to pay higher prices, you might can get some free bags. Really, Southwest is really the only place they really gives the free bags, because, everybody else, you got to pay, at least check bags, you got to pay for them. So I just need people to not go and fight at the airport. The whole video was it was ghetto, because that was a mess. Let's talk about the video. Apparently the teenager is 17 years old. The mom was like, I think the article was 39. I don't have it in front of me. I think like 39. I think that was the mom that's topless. Well, not topless, but just in her bra. And then you got the little boy, which I believe he was with them, crying in the background. Like, it's already one thing you're fighting. It's already one thing getting to the point of you want to fight employees while they're at work. But to do it in front of your kids or in front of children of your family, like, that's insane. I would never. I don't care how mad I am. I'm never going to fight in front of kids. It's just, especially if it's my family, my son, my daughter, or nephew, whoever the kid is to you. That's crazy to fight in front of them. And then I know you heard him crying, because he was crying he went, like, the little boy went over there to, like, got in, like, the fight a little bit, and he just came out, he was crying the rest of the video. Like, you don't hear that crying, it don't set something off of your brain to make you want to stop and think, oh, what am I doing? You're just going to continue fighting. And then security, in the clip I saw was like 2 minutes. the fight was already going on. And then, where is security? The security's too slow. I mean, but they probably wouldn't think people be fighting, but they might want to increase, because it's been like several different things these past few months just happening inside the airport after you pass the gate, or by the gate. They need to get on it. They just need to have a little more security closer around or something. I don't know, because unacceptable how long it took there. The whole thing is unacceptable. I don't know who started what, but I can't really blame it on the employees, because they're doing their job. You know your bag is too big, we're going to have to charge you. I mean, you just gotta pay it. Well, how do you gonna get in a fight because you get, like I said, because you pack too much? You know you gotta pay for a carry-on if your bag is too big in a personal size. They make the announcements telling you if your bag is too big. They got the things right there. You can go over there, check yourself. They make the announcements constantly. You could have went and bought it when it was cheaper. You just gotta take that L and pay the cost. But now you're gonna be on a no-fly list. I don't know if you got charged or whatever, but being on a no-fly list is enough. You been fought in front of the little boy. He probably gonna have trauma based on that. Like, it's ridiculous. The employees, I don't know if they're gonna potentially get fired. I hope they don't. Like the incident from in December, when those two gate agents were getting into it with the people and yelling at them, those two end up getting fired, unfortunately. So these Spirit Airline gate agents, I don't know if they're going to get fired because they were involved in the fight. They probably will, unfortunately, but I mean, what are you supposed to do? If someone grabbing your hair and, a coworker came to defend the other coworker, what are you supposed to do? So I feel like they might lose their job, unfortunately, but I hope they don't. It's just an unfortunate situation. People need to act better. People need to act like they have some sense. Unacceptable. When you go to these places, if you are in disagreement, then be in disagreement, ask the corporate number or whatever, get the proper names, contact corporate, or ask for a manager. Do those type of things. Do not go putting your hands on employees. They are just there trying to do their job and make a living the best way they can in this high-ass economy with all this high-ass inflation. People don't have time. People just trying to do their job and go home, make their money and go home to their family. You bring unnecessary drama, fighting. No one should have to worry about, hey, when I go to work today, am I going to be attacked physically, verbally? They shouldn't have to worry about that. And I feel like with the airline gate agents, all these airline people, it's getting to that point that they might be starting to think that, will I be attacked today? And that's unfortunate. No one should ever have to go to work and be like, am I going to be attacked today at work? That's insane. That's insane to think about. Only people that might should think about that are police officers, but they have the means to, solve that situation. Everybody else shouldn't have to worry about that. Shouldn't have to worry about being attacked, verbally attacked, or physically. Let me know your thoughts on the situation. What do you think? Subscribe if you haven't already. Check back some other videos. Till next time. Later.